So if you want to win, you'll do things that most other people wouldn't do to win. And I think that's what we're seeing with Amaka right now. And it's exciting because Amaka can Mike can I'm seeing like 60 people. Can I narrow it down so I can just see Amaka? You know how to do that
Yeah, there you go.
there? No, I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Amaka, are you on? Can you unmute?
You can hear me, Frank?
I can. Your name it says Kali Somerville under your picture, which is throwing me off. How are you, Amaka?
I'm good. I log in under her profile every day.
Ah, okay. So, um, Amaka, tell for those of the folks on the call that don't know you yet, or may not have ever met you, can you kind of introduce yourself? Tell us where you came from, what you did, um, your whole life before getting into the insurance industry. That would be great.
Okay, guys. My name is Amaka again. So I was in the Army for 21 years. I got about 5 kids that live at home. I take care of my mom as well. I am married, and this is my 3rd year in, but in April I was able to leave the military and retire. So it's kind of different here. So I'm super excited. I love it here. I just, I love it here. I was in a practice company within National with some people, but I worked my way. I was under Kali, but I worked my way under Kali, and I'm in a good space right now where I'm at.
And I think that's important because, you know, everybody on this call, you might not like your upline. In fact, Amaka, the first company I ever worked at in insurance, I couldn't stand my upline. Thought he was an arrogant prick. Pardon my French. And if it wasn't for Sean, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today. And I seeked him out to try and talk to him because the person that recruited me and brought me in was saying all the wrong things, like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk to anybody but me," or "Why are you talking to them? They're not going to help you," or whatever the case. And all that is lack of self-confidence and wanting people to look up to you. And so I think you did it the right way, just seeking out help from people that were where you wanted to be. And it's obviously showing because what you're doing is working. I want you to talk about, and thank you for your service, by the way. How long did you serve in
Mhm.
the military?
21 years,
21 years. That's amazing. What branch?
Army.
And tell everybody what you did in the Army.
So I was originally a human resource specialist. I always worked for the colonel or the general, but then I became well, a victim of sexual assault. So I became a sexual assault response coordinator. So I help victims of sexual assault. Then I took them to court. I took them to the hospital. I we went to trial. Whatever they needed to do, I put their counseling together. I took them to counseling. Whatever they needed, I assisted with, and that became my job. And then I worked again for the general. I did his notes for all the sexual assault meetings. So that was my job to assist the general and but assist them as well.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, serving people. And that, and honestly, like, that can't be an exciting job to wake up and go to every day. It's kind of, I mean, if it, is it somewhat depressing?
It can, because I'm one of those people that really care about people. So sometimes you would catch me wearing whatever they went through. I would come home with it, and
Mm.
my whole house could tell that I was going through something,
Yeah, no
whatever
doubt.
they went through.
And that's, yeah, and that's it's a lot different in this industry as far as that goes, except you are still helping people. Um, so kind of walk us through the last 6 months. When did you retire from the military?
I retired in March, so
March. Okay, April, May,
April
June,
have been
July,
my first
August,
month.
September. Okay, 7 months. Walk us through the last 7 months because you and I have spoken, and you've spoken to Kali and Mike and Jamie, and one of the things I don't want to say you were afraid, but you were nervous. Is that a safe statement?
I was super nervous. I remember one time Khalid was like, Frank want to see you. And my armpits was sweating, my hands were sweating. And I was like, I gotta talk to you. And she was like, why? Like, I was like, it's a like emergency. And I was like, is he gonna tell me to quit my job? Because I don't have a plan B. I mean, was he gonna tell me to go get a job
Ah,
and all of this stuff? And I got super nervous and um she was like, "What are you talking about?" I don't know because what you see in the group is super exciting and I know I'm not there yet, but it's just like super exciting, the momentum. So I try to make myself a part of it, posting and just being a part of the group or helping out wherever I can.
well, you are definitely a part of it. Don't get it twisted. Like I see you posting things and honestly, it's a huge help. Like ask Kali and Mike and Jamie. It's a huge help because if you're not doing it, somebody else is doing it, and most of the time, everybody's busy. Don't get it twisted. Like so when we post out a flyer of the Monday Builders Call, and then 30 seconds later, I see it popping up in Discord, Amaka post Builders Call going. I'm like, that's just a big help, and that's a servant uh attitude, and that's really what we're looking for in agents, and it's why I think everybody's so excited to help you because of the attitude and the way you carry yourself. So I kind of go through the last 7 months for these folks and what it felt like to walk away from a guaranteed income and then go 100% commission, and then the last 3 months, like you've turned up the heat to a point where it's like you're starting to get to the point where we want to see every agent get to. It's like, oh, Amaka's got it. She's no matter what happens, Amaka's good. She can handle it. And I think you've gotten there. You can say you haven't, but for me looking in on from the outside, you 100%, in my opinion, got it now. So I want to know what that transformation was like and what it was like, leaving your job, stepping into a full-time commission deal, managing your family, your schedule, your budget, all of that stuff.
Mm, that was a lot, guys. And I'm like super transparent. I don't know, Frank, Jamie, and Khalid or Corinne Mike could tell you I answer any question they have for me on the spot. They ask me to do something, I'll show them whatever. I'm super transparent because for me, I think unless they know the truth, that's the only way they're gonna help me, right? For one. And then I was super intimidated too. I was very fearful. Like I told you, I was sweating under my armpits that he was gonna tell me to go get a job, right? But when you just selling like MM and final expense and you seeing like I still be sweating when I see Dean's post like because it's just like I asked Frank, I'll be like, wow, like oh my gosh. But I started reading, I started praying, I go to church, I served there or whatever. They came to my baptism. So that's a while now. But I started praying, like giving things to God. Kali gave me a prayer. Jamie taught me gratification before the morning. You can't be grateful and ungrateful at the same time. Like those are things that had to go into play. Books, let me tell you guys, you could call anybody and they're going to help you. I've never seen a mean FFL person yet. Well, I have, sorry, but that's before. But I've never seen one like currently now. And if I do call you, they know I'm taping them. I got like everybody on tape. If I called you for something, I have taped your answer. And I am stealing whatever you said and I am memorizing it. And I always like take something and that's going into my subject matter expert toolkit, my toolkit. So I've got Depot, Frank, Mike, you name it, I got you on tape. Especially if you're on a call, you can tape them from your own device. It doesn't matter. If you like what they're saying, tape them from your own device, pitch it back, run the play while you're on the appointment, and then just do it. I taped Jesse the other day. I can't, I'm not saying I can't, but it's hard for me to switch when I know somebody should get an annuity from an IUL. And Jesse was doing it. I was like, boom, here you go, right here. This is the answer. And I just started taping him. He's on live dials. It's for the free. So that's it too. Live dials is key. All the meetings is key. Taping what you want and taking what you want and running with it. And then the other thing is some people are a little greedy. They don't want to ask people for help to learn. And the only way you're going to learn is if you ask for help. You can't just walk in and say, oh, I'm gonna know the IUL, I'm gonna know the IBC. Some people rather get zero than sharing to learn, to be able to tape, to just to really start getting into the process. I called Mike like numerous times. I called Depot. I've called everybody. If you're key on the phone, I've called you. I've asked you a question, but there's nobody here that's going to turn you away. And if they're busy, they actually point you in the direction of someone else. So I think that's great.
Okay, I agree, and that's kind of how you learn. I mean, everything that everybody is doing, from Dean to Justin to Jonna, they got from somebody else. It's like nobody on this call. This industry's been around for over 100 years. Nobody on this call just magically came up with this stuff. It's like they watched or listened to somebody else do what they want to do. They took what they had and then they regurgitated it. That's all it is. And so what's been exciting for me is now you're accessing, and back in the day, Amaka, when we started FFL, we used to scream 4 quadrants to this industry: final expense, mortgage protection, IULs, and annuities. And it's funny because the agents that adapted that really always made. Like if they could learn final expense and mortgage protection, ask the golden question and annuities, and then write some IULs when they popped up, they would make it, because obviously annuities are
getting the qualified
Mike, can you
people,
mute that full,
you're not
please?
gonna have a problem with that. We haven't had.
My Lord. It's like, you're on a Zoom call and there's like a microphone in the bottom left-hand corner, and if it's not red, you're unmuted. Does that make sense, Amaka?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know where it was at. So you started really diving into all 4 quadrants, and I think it's just like, and for me, like running the annuity division here at FFL, trying to grow the annuity volume, watching, and by the way, you're on the annuity panel at Ignite, right? You knew that, right?
No.
You are, okay. And you might go, I don't know anything about annuities. That's my point. Like I want, and how many annuities have you written now, Amaka?
Probably like 12.
Probably like 12. Do you think you're an annuity expert?
I know I'm not, because I'll call Corinne to be my manager in a second. I'll call Kali, fix this. I'll call anybody. I've called Dean, he's driving. He like, take a screenshot. I do it all the time.
Okay. And so what gave you the confidence to feel like, all right, if I ask the golden question and someone has something, and then I ask them if they, are interested in seeing a way they could take advantage of the upside of the market, eliminate the downside risk, and they say, yes, I'm interested, that I have the support to not look like a fool. Does that make sense? Can you explain how you got over that fear? Because I think that's it. It's why the annuity leaderboard on this call is like 15, 12, 20 people and not 100 people, because people are fearful of A, looking like they don't know what they're doing, and B, getting rejected, would be my guess. Can you explain how you got over that fear?
Because I didn't want to go, just for example, I didn't want to go from in-home. It was comfortable. It was what I knew, driving up and down. I didn't want to go to telesales. But they said, read the script. And okay, I started reading the script. I was like, oh, I memorized it now. It's a done deal. I could do it. And
Okay.
then even in the home, I used to find money all the time. I just skipped over it because of the group I was with. you couldn't ask them any question. And they said you couldn't ask y'all questions. So I just skipped over it. But I was like, all these people on the SRS call keep saying, oh, 50K BAM fam, 249K BAM fam. I was like, I'm gonna just start asking this question. And then I just started interrupting them. Hey, KG, you got a minute? Kylie, you got a minute? Speak to my aunt. I called you too. I call Mike. I call everybody. If you want a piece of the sale, come get a piece of the sale. But I need to know what this is so I could be a subject matter expert. The name of the game is getting better. So if I'm sitting there and I stay in fear, I'm not going to be better. Absolutely not. Everything gets better when I get better. So you want a piece of the sale, come get this. But I'm going to learn this joint.
And Amaka, what I think is so amazing is when you, and I know Mike has, I'm sure Kali, but when I've spoken to you and you're on an annuity appointment, your willingness to let the customer know that you don't know everything, I think is really key to your success. Because people, that's easy to trust when you go, you know what, I don't know the answer to that. Let me call somebody that will know. And then you call Mike and you go, hey, here's our retirement professional specialist. His name is Mike. Ask, colleague, can you ask Mike the question you just had? Mike answers. First of all, lets the client know that you're not going to lie to them. Because if you were going to lie, you would just come up with an answer to make it sound good. And second of all, it lets them know that if it's not just you, there's a team of people there to support them as well. So out of the 12 annuities, how much total annuity volume do you know what that number is off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay. What was
Like
the
some
biggest one you wrote?
people have like 4 places they're pulling out the money and like, so I'm going through that and I'll get messages, but I don't know the total.
Okay, so the average annuity across the board is 100 grand. Okay. And if yours is lower than that, it will eventually even out and work out to be 100 grand. But let's just say it's 60. 12 times 60,000. At the lowest comp, that's 38 grand. That's $38,000 deposit into your bank account when they all fund. Have you ever, I mean, you seem pretty transparent. How much do you make in the military in a year?
Probably like 70K, 60K.
70K.
Yeah.
So you just started asking the annuity question a couple months ago. You're 38 grand. That's if you're below the average. If your average is 100 grand, you're closer to 60,000, which is the majority of what you made in the military in 2 months. And you haven't even really dialed into what you're going to be doing the more you do this. I think you get through 15, 20 annuity appointments, you'll be as good as Dean, and everybody started somewhere. Dean didn't start selling $5 million in annuities in a year, in year one. It was like, all right, let me close one. Mike, how long did it take you to write your first annuity file? Remember that? It was like forever, it seemed
It was
like.
the one no, it took forever to close it. I wrote it, but it
Yeah.
took like 6 months to get it done,
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, and we kept saying, just keep asking, Mike, keep asking, Mike. You'll eventually find somebody that goes, you know what? Hands up. I need to do this. I'm scared to lose money. And they're lay down. I mean, just like there's who's called an appointment and the client was like, I need life insurance. I want whole life. I don't want to spend more than 150 bucks. Like, who's ever had that happen?
Yes.
You ask that golden question enough, you're going to find a laydown just like that. I've been looking for one of the biggest annuities I ever wrote, that was a laydown sale. Mike could have went there. Amaka, Kali, Corinne, any of y'all went to that house and asked that question, you would have wrote that annuity. So it's like, why are we not asking that question? What has been your biggest takeaway? Because you're doing IULs, you're doing mortgage protection, you're doing final expense, you're doing annuities. What's your takeaway?
She even does infinite banking too, Frank, which a lot of people don't know how to do.
Yeah, and that's shoot, compared to an annuity, that's 10 times harder, in my opinion. What's your favorite one? Which one do you feel like you're the best at, and which one are you most excited about? I was always excited about mortgage protection. It was my favorite.
I like mortgage protection because you can capture everything in that appointment. You can cover the mortgage, you can capture the old TSP or the old 401k. You can capture the person that think they need mortgage protection. They don't even have any life insurance. So you can capture just about anything in there. You could capture the son looking for the parents mortgage protection. You capture just about anything in that appointment. It's just about asking the right questions and being attentive and paying attention in the appointment to what the person is saying.
Yeah, no doubt. So John is going, can we hear a role play between you and me about how you're discovering the annuities?
Okay. So I ask at the bottom of the paper it says, do you have anything that acts like that will offset the mortgage? God forbid if anything were to happen to you. And when I'm asking you that, I'm talking about maybe a old 401k, a IRA, stocks, bonds, mutual fund, any amount of significant funds, any roll of money that may be under your bed. Tell me what you have. And then some people say, you being nosy. And I said, no, I'm not being nosy. Here's why I'm asking. Because maybe you won't even need this mortgage protection if we know what you have. And maybe I can put you in a better predicament. I'm not trying to make you another bill here, but I'm trying to protect your assets, just like how you fill out the form.
Okay, I have a 401k.
Okay, perfect. Is it an active 401k or is it an old one?
It's an old one.
Okay, how much you have in there?
Last time I checked, it was right around 80,000.
How long has it been at 80,000?
Mm, that's a good question. I want to say it's been there for a little bit, a couple years.
A couple years. So I would go on with the whole entire appointment and then I'll zoom back to the 80 grand that's just sitting there. And then I'll tell them, hey, if they did have time, I'll show them the illustration right then and there, but I'll put them on Zoom. But if they didn't have time, I'll set them up a Zoom and I'll say, if they super important, I'll text you like, yo, or I'll hit Corinne, come on, let's be the manager, get a jacket or something like that. Um, I mean, it is what it is. And I'll do my part. One of you guys will do your part and we keep it moving until
I
I become the subject matter expert. But I have closed it by myself. I'll call Mike.
I know. Well, and a lot of times you call me and you ask me a question, I'm like, I already know you know the answer. And sometimes that's just for reinforcement. Like people want to know again that if you 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 don't know the answer, you'll call and get it. That's a little bit of humility, and I think that goes a long way. I love what you said though. You keep it moving. So I acknowledge that I had 80 grand. I acknowledge that it's been sitting there for a couple years to the best of my knowledge. Then you just move on. And I think a mistake everybody, including myself, made in the beginning was like I heard that, oh, I got 80 grand in an orphan 401k. And I, instead of doing what I was there to do, I pivot and try to get that money right then and there. And then you ruin the sale because eventually they're gonna be like, well, I thought you were here for mortgage protection. Why are you talking about my 401k? So when you get through that, can you go through with me what you say at the end? I know you said if I have time to show me the illustration, but can you tell me what that word track's like? Once we're done, we wrap up, you write me a mortgage protection policy, and you're looking at your notes and you see that I got an $80,000 orphan 401k. How would you try and book me again, or how would you try and present the illustration right then and there?
So Mike taught me this the other day, right? So I started telling people, hey, since you're not contributing to it anymore, how about I'll help you protect your assets where you can get some growth? So if we put it into, because most of the people just have it sitting there. So Mike taught me that if they take a hit they're not contributing to it anymore. So their bounce back game isn't that. So I said, hey, how about we protect your assets? We put it in an annuity. And when we annuitize it, they initially give you a bonus to put your money in there, right? So you'll participate in the market. Your money will grow in the market. Now, let's say it's election time like it is now and the market flops. You don't have to worry about loss. You don't have to worry about, it's kind of like a set it and forget it game. If I can show you how to make money with what you had just sitting there, would you be interested? And they say yes.
I mean, it's really that simple, guys. I don't, it's why you're going to be on the stage at Ignite in the annuity panel is because A, you're brutally honest and it's not going to be about, you and how smart you are. And it's just going to be how simple these products are, how good they are for your clients and how you have support. Because that's really what we're trying to portray here. Do you feel that in the next 2025, you feel like you'd be able to hit 2 million Hall of Fame for annuities and life?
Absolutely. Yes. I said one day they was on there and they said, you could call Frank, Kevin, Mike, and Dean. And I said, after the meeting, I said, Kylie, and they gonna say next year, they gonna say, and you can call Amaka.
That's right. That's right. This is what our goal is to make sure that you feel confident enough to say that. And that the more people we have knowing this, like the more folks we have like Dean, who can close an annuity with his eyes closed and Jesse can do IBC, the more people we have like that know these products, the more of y'all we can help and the wider we can grow this thing. But I'm telling y'all, if you're not taking advantage of that fourth quadrant, the annuity stuff, you're leaving money on the table. And I can say it till I'm blue in the face. Annuities saved our business multiple times throughout our career, where I had maybe a bad month in on the life side, or maybe had some debt roll up, or some big policies cancel. They always seem to drop at the ideal time to pull our asses out of the fire. Um, so Maka, we got about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna let you rip on whatever you want to rip on, whatever you think has changed the game for you over the last 3-4 months, because it's truly changed the game and you're on your way to be a top producer without a shadow of a doubt. Give us some key pointers. And I love that you're reading and you're going to church and your gratitude stuff in the morning. It's impossible to be grateful and negative at the same time. All that stuff is super incredible. And honestly, Mike and I always say this, there's no secret. It's like, that's the simple stuff that people just forget to do on a daily basis that changes your mindset and keeps you in the right place. But if you could give us anything else that could help these folks understand just how simple it is to get to the point where you're at now, and anything else that could help them.
So for me, one, I'm big on being coachable. I think that if my leaders are telling me to go left and I'm going right, I'm going to make a immediate left. Jay spoke about you and Sean. I give each leader that type of respect. I may not be on your team, but if you are a leader in the organization, I respect you, especially if I'm not where you at. I have to. And I think a lot of people, I think this generation, everybody knows it all. But if you're not an integrity member or you're not the VP or you're not where you want to be, and this, maybe I'm just militant or maybe my mom grew me up like this, but I think you should be coachable because you don't know it all. And I'm not saying we can't learn from one another, but that's the name of the game, to be coachable. I'm very coachable. So if you tell me something, you don't got to tell me 97 times. I'm going to implement it the next time you see me, or I'm going to change whatever it is. And I'm not confused about that. I know that that's me for sure. And you got to play team. If you're dialing alone, that's dumb. I'm going to say you're stupid. If you are dialing alone, you are stupid, because all these people making money and you can copy and paste whatever they say, makes no sense. And if you don't want to unmute, you're stupid too. It's dumb because the people that are making money can tweak what you say. And again, you got to be able to make that change, and then you can start making money. But if you stay off and you want to be alone, only you're alone, self-sabotaging yourself. And then when you're not making no money, just blame yourself because you was being dumb. That's it.
I mean, I love that. I think it's refreshing to hear somebody speak that way because that's how we learn the business. And as far as being coachable, like I'm still coachable. Like Sean calls me and tells me to do something, it's done. And trust me, I mean, we were in Florida last week, Monday, and I was coming home Monday night. And if y'all know me, I like to be home. I like sleeping next to my wife. I don't like being out of town. Sean's like, hey, stay. I'm like, shit. Babe, I'm staying till tomorrow. She's like, seriously, there's a hurricane coming. I'm like, I don't, he told me to stay. I'm staying. That's how it works. And like, y'all can go, you're a grown ass man, do what you want. Nah, I was poor before I met Sean. Like, I much prefer my life today by knowing him and following what he tells me because he's never steered me wrong. Makes no sense. So I think that's a testament to your character and nobody knows it all. Like, and if y'all think Sean doesn't have coaches, you're crazy. There's always somebody that's higher up than where you are. And until you get to that point, you should be seeking out advice and coaching from someone that is where you want to be. Well, you were at that meeting on Monday. What Sean said, one of the most important thing is to have a mentor, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have a mentor, you're lost. And I agree. Being on these live dials, it's not like pre-COVID where we were all in an office and everybody was listening to everybody dial and you could pick stuff up from the person sitting next to you. And you had, Jamie with the bird ears or dog ears going like she could hear a pin drop from 6 offices away and going, stop saying that, say this. It just we didn't have that. But the live Zooms is as close as we have to y'all being in the office with people. And I promise if you like Amaka comes to our office Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm in my office listening to her cracking up like she's very good because it's like if I say this wrong, you can correct me, but I think you trust where your heart is so much, you don't really care what people say
I
because
don't.
deep down inside, you're doing everything you do to protect and help them. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. And I'm not in it for me. I'm not gonna oversell you something because I wanted it. I'm not gonna if I see you can't make the payment in 1 to 3 business days, I'll set it up with your social security. I'm in it for the person, and when when you're in it to really serve, I think you get the bigger picture of it. And then guys, don't be trying to rush. And I get it. Rush, do what you got to do. But for me, I think there's a process for everything. So I'm never like side-eyeing nobody like you did this or you here or you there. I just think it's a process for everybody because I've watched some people get there too soon and it just fall apart. So enjoy the process, learn something as you go, and I think you'll be okay. But you gotta play team and not self-sabotage yourself.
That's a big deal. It's a truly big deal. There was a comment I want to address. It says, do you always mention annuity or say something else before setting the annuity of meeting? Laura, we've taught people not to say the word annuity because sometimes it scares them away. But it's working for Amaka, so I'm not going to say stop saying the word annuity. Now, if she comes to me in 2 months and goes, I keep finding all these people and they won't answer my annuity appointment call, I'll say stop saying the word annuity. But if it's working for you, do it. It's not a dirty word. It's just there are some misconceptions that people have when it comes to annuities. And I think sometimes it can scare people away. So if you don't have to say it, I'd say don't say it. But at some point they're gonna know it's an annuity. So I think, Amaka's kind of like, I'm gonna tell them now, and if they don't want it, then it's just no sweat off my back, move on to the next. Jamie, do you have anything for Amaka? I know you guys have become super close over the last 6 months. And yes, we did watch you get baptized. That was amazing. I think we watched, hey, Maka, we watched Bruns get baptized 2-3 weeks ago. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's
I know,
dope.
right?
That's dope.
No doubt. Babe, are you unmuted? Can you unmute? Oh, there you go. I just unmuted you.
Thank you. I was in mute jail. No, I think what she's doing is amazing. I think that anybody that is like, it's just like anything else. If you are determined to make something happen, then it will happen. But if you're wishy-washy about it, if you're not sure, if you're just like, well, I think I'll try it. You know what? I'm going to start doing that the first of the year. Or I think I'm going to start doing that next month. It's like, just start now. Like, just start now. You are wasting time. You're like not using your full license, right? By not asking those simple little questions. Like, you have a license to make more money. You have a license to help your clients even more than you already are right now. So why aren't you using all of your license? Why? Because you don't know what to do after the next step. Just ask the question and then ask someone who knows what to do after that next question. So the question is, what do you have that can offset the life insurance, 401ks, IRAs, money in the savings, old, anything that could maybe a proportion offset this life insurance. That's it. And when they tell you, just set it aside and ask your manager what to do with it. That's it. And then they will start loading your mouth with words and giving you tips and pointers on how to proceed. And then you'll do that next. So just, how do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time. Just start asking the question and then ask your manager what to do next. And that is what Amaka has done. And we're just fortunate enough to be able to watch it firsthand. And, it's been a joy to watch. So we're proud of her.
Agreed. No doubt about it. Mike, anything? Kali, anything?
Oh, hey, Amaka, do you remember that time you called me on a Saturday and you thought I was blowing your sale and you were like, what is he doing? Remember that? That was the funniest story, Frank. She just listening to me, but we closed it. But she was like, what are you doing? Remember that? But she is not afraid to call anytime.
No, she's definitely not. And it's huge. And honestly, like, y'all want to know, call Amaka. I guarantee it, over the next 3 to 5 days, she's going to be on the Zoom dialing, and she's going to come across somebody that has some money. You want to know how to do it. You want to learn how to do it. I look at Jonna, like, I look at how much life insurance you write, and I look at the amount of annuity volume you're submitting, which is nowhere near what it should be. I mean, you're leaving a couple $100,000 a year on the table. So,
If you,
Kali,
if
did you
look
want
at
to?
the, hey, Frank,
Yeah,
if you look at the leaderboard, the difference is these people down here at the bottom, I guarantee almost all of them aren't on live dials. That's the only difference.
100%.
Look at the people that are down at the bottom.
Kali,
no, Maka she's super coachable. I mean, all the things that she says, she definitely is. And the one thing that she did do, she didn't mention this earlier this year, she started saying, I'm coming for all the money. And you've heard her say that, Frank, Jamie, Mike, y'all all heard her say that. And she says that every single day with her New York accent. I'm coming for all the money. Like, and so and then I'll tell y'all, Amaka didn't believe a lot in herself earlier on. And she said nervous, Frank. She was scared earlier this year. She was scared to transition from being in the military to doing this full time. People were talking to her about getting a job. And she just kept, like she said, she's super transparent. And so if she has a question or she's unsure, she's going to ask. And she's going to give feedback before she makes a move. And so that's why Amaka is where she's at. And she's humble. She's grateful. Like she doesn't just help National. She helps Fury out a whole lot too. So we are grateful for her. We are thankful for her. Thank you for everything that you do, Amaka. You are the bomb. And I am blessed to have you a part of our team. So thank you so much.
We're all blessed. Thank you, Kali. All right, guys. Amaka, we got some people asking for your phone number. If you want to type it in the chat. If you don't, I'm that's on you. I'm good. Or you could just go see me on live dials because you're on there all the time. That's a pretty simple way to do it. But guys, Amaka's just a testament to like, there's thousands of people in this company, thousands and thousands, that have started either part-time and transfer full-time like Amaka. But everybody in the beginning was nervous without a guaranteed pay. And what Amaka's done is she's locked in her lead flow, she's locked in her schedule, and she's just following the simple system that we have. And if y'all do it, you guys will have similar results as Kyle. That's not Kali Somerville's phone number. That's Amaka's phone number for y'all that are in the chat. Amaka hijacked Kali's Zoom apparently. But Amaka, thank you so much for hopping on and sharing with us. I'm super excited to see where 2025 goes for you. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you, and we love having you on the team. Where'd she go?
She's up there. She's muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks, Frank. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the team. I love seeing everybody win. And look, guys, feed off of the momentum. Just know if the person to your left and your right can do it, you can do it as well. It can be done. Get on the live dials, unmute your phone, let these experts correct you, and you'll start smashing sales. You'll be a bronze. Like, let's get it done, guys, because the momentum here is contagious. So we all got to be on the same vibration. Get on live dials and unmute.
Hey, can you drop the line? I'm coming for all that money. Give it to these folks so they can hear what we hear every
I'm
day.
coming for all the money. I'm coming for all the. My children say it. Okay, Mom, you know, I'm coming for all the money. Like, get out my face. Like,
I like it. I like
I
it.
go downstairs to my mom. I'll be like, yeah, I'm coming for all the money, girl. I'm coming for all.
Yeah. Keep saying it. It's working. It's definitely working. Speak it into existence. Well, guys, thank you all for hopping on. I appreciate you hopping on, Amaka, and sharing with us. Keep killing it. Guys, if you need anything, we're here to help. SRS call Thursday at noon Eastern. Every single Thursday at noon Eastern, there's a SRS call. We go over annuities, IULs, and then every third week we do a Q&A. Do not miss that call. Get yourselves there, get your agents there. Let's start accessing all four quadrants of this industry, and y'all can have 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 months like it's going out of style. Again, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.